Hello everyone and welcome to Crypto Night, the crypto investor channel. I'm Boris, so let's dive in. I'm with Colton today. Hello Colton.
Hey Boris, I hope we're doing well. Welcome back to the Kryptonite channel, everyone. Today we'll be talking about the graph. Let's dive right in. What is the graph, and can you give us some tokenomics on the coin, Boris?
Yes, the graph, it's a blockchain project, really useful. It's kind of the Google of blockchains, so allows you to get data from the different blockchains and then use it into different apps. There is a lot of data because, as you can imagine, on the blockchain there are millions, if not more, billions of transactions happening all the time. And whenever you need some of that data so that you can do some analysis, like how many active addresses or how many transactions on a daily basis and what is the dollar volume of those transactions, etc., etc. It's a lot of data. So it's very difficult, if you don't have kind of a search engine that would give you all that data very quickly like Google does. And that's what the graph is. So very useful. It's one of those blockchains that has a lot of utility, and their coin is the GRT token, and of course you can buy it pretty much everywhere. All major exchanges carry it. Back in February 2021, they were at $2.84. That was their all-time high. The all-time low was actually November last year. They had dropped all the way down to about 5.2 cents. They currently have a market cap of close to $800 million. So they are a pretty big project. Circulating supply is 9.1 billion coins, and the total supply is 10 billion coins. They have no max supply, but if you look at their tokenomics, they're not supposed to grow too much over the next bull run. They'll grow a little bit, but it's not some major growth. So a few things are interested. They have over 200 indexers nodes. They have over 1 trillion queries served, and they're working with 45,000 plus projects. So lots of people and lots of different companies and dapps are using the information from the graph because it is extremely useful and extremely valuable.
Thank you, Boris. What about the on-chain data, and how does it compare to Ethereum in the last month or so?
In Q2 2023, they published over 1,000 subgraphs to the decentralized network, making it an increase of 39% in the quarter. Another thing that's interesting is they have an ongoing migration of the graphs protocol smart contracts to Arbitrum. And of course, that's mainly to make the user experience better and also to reduce the gas costs because, of course, when it's running on Ethereum, it is expensive. On the demand side, revenue in US dollars, they've seen a decrease of 48%. And it's mainly been because the dapps have been optimizing their query volume and reduce the usage from governance and infrastructure activities. I mean, obviously, being in the bear market, in Q2 2023, this is not the best time. People are building new things, but there is not necessarily a ton of demand to get queries. So therefore, their revenues have dropped. The revenue from indexing increased slightly by 3% quarter over quarter, reaching over $9 million in revenue for Q2 2023, and 64% of those rewards were going to the delegators. Now, they have launched an incentive program, but unfortunately they saw a decrease of 29% quarter over quarter in active indexers, while delegators and curators went up by 2 and 3% respectively. So here's a quick overview of what the graph ecosystem looks like. On one side, you have the different blockchains, the storage networks, the peer-to-peer networks. So all that data is being sent to the graph ecosystem. And then it goes, to the indexers, the curators, the delegators, people doing staking. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then once all that data has been processed and indexed, then it's usable for applications and developers. And the biggest thing that you have to remember about the graph is they're crunching a lot of data. So for those applications, for those developers, it saves them a lot of time, because otherwise they would never be able to keep up with all the new data being created on a daily basis. And right now we are kind of running in slow mode because of the bear market. But as the bull market arrives, then suddenly there's more and more transactions happening, more and more things going on, and there is more and more data to be actually crunched. So on the financials, the revenue from the usage fee, like I was saying, went down from, let's say, Q2 last year, it was 70 million, and it went down to 46. And then the revenue from indexing went down from 17 million down to 9 million. The active subgraphs went up, and the staked indexers went up as well. Numbers delegators went up. So overall, for the past year, things have been kind of growing, but obviously in a bear market, that's not where you see the major growth. So the good thing is, over the past year, we see a good number of subgraphs, growing 39% quarter over quarter from Q1 to Q2 this year. Like we're saying, the number of indexers, we see it on this graphic, is going down, and there's more inactive. But really, if you look at the total number of indexers, it is actually slightly up. But because there are more people inactive, then that's the reason why it's considered to be less right now. But probably some of these inactive indexers will become active again once they realize, the market is hot again during the bull market. Now, in real volume, they went down 46%, while ETH went down 73% over the past month. The market dominance of GRT, the graph, went down 8% over the past month, for only 2.5% for ETH. The Sharpe ratio in both cases is roughly about the same, around 40-45%. And on the volatility side, the GRT is plus 53% in volatility over the past month, while ETH is up 100% in volatility over the past month.
Thank you, Boris. What about the latest news and developments of the graph?
So BingX, has achieved several milestones during, and some of those are including the subgraph studio, expanding, the node network, upgrading Firehose for Ethereum, Near, and Antelope. And the other thing is they've been also engaging with other chains to try to have them join the graph, because obviously the more chain they will be attached to, and the more indexing they will be doing, that will be useful for a lot of people. And they also aim at providing more hardware infrastructure on one side to do more testing on some of the new things they're working on, and as well as supporting more indexers. Last thing I want to underline is that right now, this is not a financial advice, but obviously that's one of the coins that I own, that I like this coin, and I've DCA'd, over the past few months. And it seems like we're pretty at a very low number. I mean, we're around 8 cents. The all-time low was 5 cents, and that was in November last year when FTX happened. Given the fact that it has very good utility, the fact that there is a little bit more to be released, of this coin, but not like some other projects that have, still 80% of the coins that have to be yet to be released. Overall, I don't want to say that that's the bottom, because we never know, but it pretty much looks like it could be the bottom. And chasing bottoms is always very complicated, because you never know when the bottom is actually in. And sometimes some people wait for lower prices, and luckily they get it. Some other times they miss the train because the train has left the station and it's too late and it's not coming back. So to me, it is really at a great price right now. And I finished pretty much all my filling up the bags on GRT for myself. And yeah, I think it has some room to grow. We're going to see that in a minute in the price prediction.
Thank you, Boris. What about staking the graph? Can we stake the graph, and is there a better place we should be doing this for APY?
Yeah, I mean, you can stake directly with the project. I have to admit that it is a little bit technical. I mean, hopefully they're going to make it easier and easier. But you can stake with the project and you delegate to an indexer. Now, there's a few things to know. It's kind of a little tricky, you know, because there are different percentages whenever you look at their staking. And it's almost like some top indexers, you know, they're going to give delegators 90% of the reward. And then the middle delegators, you know, is giving delegators 20%. So you have to be careful who you pick. It's not super straightforward. I think they could do a better job. Otherwise, there are a few places where you can stake on some exchanges, but I wouldn't recommend that. Now, the rewards are not necessarily fantastic. So sometimes you have to think like, do I want to take the risk of staking? You know, whenever you are making only just a few percentage points, is it really worth, you know, being staked, or is it better having it in a cold storage where it's safe and at least you don't take risks with indexers being slashed or, you know, things going bad? So me personally, I'm really careful about things like that. And I'm more and more unstaking coins just because I think I much rather have the whole bag than a portion of the bag, you know, because something happened.
Thank you, Boris. What about the price prediction? Do you really see the graph hitting a 19x in the next 6 years or so?
It's really in the realm of possibilities. You know, 21 cents by next year, and then eventually in the 40s, in the $1. Really the $1 mark, I think I almost have no doubt that, or very little doubt that it will happen, which is nice, you know, knowing that we are currently at 8 cents. And then because it's very useful to everyone, we could see possibly $1.68, maybe as much as $2. So all of this is possible. I've seen even some people predicting even higher numbers, like $5. So that is really, really up there. I don't know if we'll go as high, but it has a lot of room to grow. It's definitely one of those coins that easily could 20x pretty much over the next bull run. Thank you, Colton. Thank you, everyone. We hope you liked the video. If you did, please put a thumbs up and subscribe. And we look forward to see you on the next Kryptonite video. I hope this video helps. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And if you like the video at the end, click on the thumbs up.